Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to February. I've had people like, we need Scorpio, we need Aries. Well, there was a reason why I waited till today. And that's because I wanted you to recognize what the energy is that's coming in. And today, Mars and Pluto are squaring. And those are your planets, right? I want you to recognize that people will be irritating you. You know what's really funny is there were several people that did not, they commented on the January reading about how I talked about Uranus going into your 7th house, just opposite of you, and will be there for 8 years, and how it will impact your relationships. And like automatically it was like I was telling you guys that it was going to be really negative and that things were going to be really, and maybe I said they could be a little bit hard, but it all kind of depends on how you deal with the energy. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm forcing something to, like, don't subscribe to a belief system. Don't, like, if you are saying that, if you're saying, oh, okay, so Uranus is going to be in my 7th house of relationships, and that means that they're just going to be, I'm going to have really hard relationships. That's what you're manifesting, right? So you have to use the energy in the way that you really want to use it. I feel like Uranus could actually bring you guys some really great relationships in the next 8 years as it goes into Taurus in March, because Uranus moves into Taurus in March, and you've already had kind of a taste of it. But I feel like when Uranus moved into Taurus, it was like, okay, Scorpio, let's clean out. Let's clean out the closet. Let's get rid of all the things and the people and the stuff that we don't need anymore. Like, let's do that first. That way, when Uranus comes into your 7th house for the next 8 years, sorry, my sweatshirt's choking me. Death by sweatshirt. That way, when Uranus comes into your 7th house of relationships for the next 8 years, you're ready to have, because Uranus will bring gifts. They'll be shocking, but you can make it good. It can be on a positive receiving end. And I feel like that's what's going to happen. But you have to walk away from the notion of it not, you have to be honest with yourself. Like, be honest. If you're still holding on to relationships that are toxic, Uranus is going to remove that. It's a time of great change, Scorpio. It's a time of great change. So we have the 8 of Cups, exactly what I'm talking about. Walking away from things that are no longer serving you. The Moon, being honest with yourself, being honest with your feelings. You could have a Cancer in your life who really loves you, or somebody with heavy water placements who really loves you. With the Page of Cups, this could also be you wanting to offer love, an apology. You want more out of life, right? You want more in your life. And more is coming with the Wheel of Fortune. But that's what you have to manifest. And you guys are really great manifestors. You are like one of the most psychic signs I know. Like, you automatically just get it. And 3 of Cups. There could be a lot. The 3 of Cups for me is the Union card. There could be a lot of coming together. There could be a lot of celebrations in February. I feel like maybe you might have to travel, or someone's coming to you. 6 of Swords. But there's a shift that is happening here. And it's like it's the upside of life. It's the upside of things. February is not going to be easy energy, because people will be irritating you with this Mars-Pluto energy that starts today. And it'll last for like a week or so. I mean, I'm telling everyone, it's worse than a full moon. It is. People get, I mean, that's 2 aggressive energies squaring off. Like, they're both fighting for, they're like one-upmanship. So it's like 2 parts of you fighting. Everybody's going to be irritating. That's just, it's the lay of the land right now. And people are irritated with me right and left. And I'm just like having to sit here and go, I don't know how many readers I've heard say to people, if you don't like what I'm saying, don't watch. I mean, like, why? Why does it have to be negative? Why does everybody have to be so negative all the time? So if you're walking away from a Capricorn, this doesn't even have to be a Capricorn. This can just be like there is a karmic tie to the emotions that you're feeling right now, or the things that you're holding on to that you need to walk away from. There's a karmic tie to this. And because Saturn and Pluto are in Capricorn, we have very heavy Capricorn energies going on. You could be walking away from a Capricorn, you could be headed towards a Cancer, you could be walking towards a Capricorn, but I kind of feel like that's more of a toxic, feels more of a toxic vibe. Let's see what the moon is. Oh, maybe there's a... So there is definitely an earth quality here. If things feel like they're moving in slow motion right now, sorry, my nose is like all sorts of itchy, and I'm not sick. It's been very damp and very cold here, and so I get affected by that easily. I'm very sensitive when it comes, my nose is just extremely sensitive. My sinuses are very sensitive. I do everything to fix it, but it's been like this my whole life. So, because I know that people are going to like give me recommendations and stuff. If you have a very slow earth sign coming towards you, or you're unsure about some kind of earth energy, it's because they're trying to do things the right way. The Knight of Pentacles, although it's a slow energy, it doesn't skip the steps. It's still moving forward. It's still, you know, moving in the direction that it's supposed to be moving in, but it's not skipping the steps. So let's look at the Page of Cups. Oh, there you are. You're the one that wants to offer some love. I feel like Scorpio has a crush, or they need an apology, or they want to give an apology. Let's see what the Wheel of Fortune is. Oh, yes. Libra energy. So there's this balance that's happening in your life, and it's shifting. And I want you to recognize that that's what it is. And if that balance comes with you wanting to offer somebody something, I feel like it's really going to go well in your favor. It might be a slow progress, but that's because you're still leaving behind some toxic patterns. I feel like there could be a lot of toxic patterns that you've held on to for years even, and you're just now recognizing what you do when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your own being, like when it just comes to, you know, how you want to be in the world and be presented in the world, and how you want to be seen by everybody, by people. I do feel like there's a group or a couple of people that are like on your side, that are like cheering you on. That's what the Three of Cups feels like to me. But I do, one particular person possibly. The Lovers on the Three of Cups. So it could be a Gemini in your group, or this is a very strong relationship. It's a really strong connection. And there's a coming together of sorts in February. And it's more because you found that karmic balance within your life. It's like the universe is now saying to you, you've done all the work, you did the walking away, and here's your gift, right? You did what you had to do in order to move forward, in order to push forward in life. And now you are getting rewarded by either, and it's time, right? It's time. And Judgment on the Six of Swords, I kind of feel like Judgment on the Six of Swords is also saying that you need to get up and move. You need to get up and go somewhere, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's mental. The Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords to me very much feels like there's this physical movement that needs to happen. But it could also just be like a thought process. It could be that you need to have a conversation with someone in order for you to move on from something. Like it's time, like call to action. That Judgment card is like that call to action that you have to take in order to get things going, in order to get movement happening. But you are making the shift. Like, you're the one that's causing the shift to happen because you brought in this balance into your life and even if it doesn't feel like everything's falling into place, like, let's be real, right? Like, not everything is going to be perfect and rosy and butterflies and all of that every day of your life. But if you are satisfied with where you are and you know the direction that you want to go in and you know the direction you've been pulled in, whether that's changing a job, whether that's leaving a relationship, whether that's starting a new business, like whatever it is that you're feeling pulled to go in, you're making it with your heart and your mind. I feel like there's this balance of making it with your heart and your mind. And the universe is saying it's time for you to do that. Now, you could be dealing with an air sign. Bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords, a Libra or a Gemini, or somebody with heavy Libra or Gemini in their chart. 7 of Cups, 4 of Swords, Knight of Cups, 10 of Cups. Wow. 3 of Pentacles, the Fool, the 5 of Wands, the 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, and there's the King of Pentacles with the Chariot. Okay. If you are at any time confused this month, the cards are saying to take a time out. Even, and especially if it's about an air sign or somebody with heavy air placements, or this is just you trying to figure things out and get really super discerning. Man, my nose is so itchy, you guys. I'm so sorry. A lot of times that just happens because I'm channeling and I just get an itchy nose. So if things start to get really confusing or you're not really sure like how stuff is going to fall into place, the 4 of Swords is saying get quiet, come back. You know, like stop trying to make it all happen all at once, because it's not going to. Everything isn't going to fall into place all at once. If you pull back and you go into the 4 of Swords and you start to think about things like in phases, that's going to be really helpful, especially if it has to do with your future happiness and new directions that you want to go in. I feel like if you don't take some time out for yourself this month and just rest and get really quiet with yourself and allow yourself to think and process things, you could potentially get yourself even more confused and possibly into arguments. But your forward movement, the future that you want to see, the future that you want to have, is very clear to you. Like, you want to move forward and start offering to that 10 of Cups, right? But you know that you have to do it from the ground up. There might be some risks that you have to take this month in order to get to your happily ever after. But you're going to feel that nudge. People ask me, like, what does that nudge feel like? It's like a pull in a direction that you need to go in. If you keep on going back to the same thing over and over and over again, I need to go this way, I need to do this. If that thought process or that like gut instinct keeps on like pulling back to you, like pulling you back into a certain situation or a place to go or a person to get to, that's your intuition saying you need to listen, right? I feel like if you get really stubborn and you don't take risks and you don't do what you need to do and you're like, no, I just need to sit still and wait, I think it could be very heartbreaking, either for you or for an earth sign. King of Pentacles. And there might be some arguing on how to get started or get going. But I feel like the only way that this 3 of Swords is I feel like this is almost you sabotaging something because you were afraid to move forward and do something. You got stuck, right? The 4 of Pentacles is about being really stubborn and being really stuck. And like, it's like giving yourself excuses of why you can't move forward. You're not a tree. I said this to Taurus too. You can move. You're not a tree. You're not a mountain. You can change. You can move, right? And I'm not throwing shade at you. Everybody is doing this right now out of fear that they're going to make the wrong decision. What if you make the right decision? What if the decision is right there in front of you, and you know who you want to get to, or you know what you want to do, or you know what job you need to get to, or what situation you need to be in, because you keep on getting this feeling over and over and over again. Trust that feeling. I do feel like there is an earth sign, Chariot, and the Star, or a fire sign. Ooh, the fire sign's got you up in your head. I feel like you want to go towards the earth sign and away from the fire sign. That's just like a gut instinct I'm having here. Because I have the King of Pentacles with the Chariot and the Star. Like, that's your destiny. Those two cards are all about destiny and moving forward towards your destiny. The fire sign, King of Wands, and maybe this is you getting up in your head too much and lying to yourself that you can't, and then feeling really guilty about it. 9 of Swords and 7 of Swords. Either that or a fire sign is lying to you in some way, shape, or form, and you feel very deceived by them because they keep going back and forth and won't settle on something. If that's either you or that's somebody else, but ultimately the key to February is to go go to the place that makes you happy. And if you don't know what that is that makes you happy, find it. Because the irritation is real. Like, you will get super irritated by people. People are going to be trying to, like, I don't even know why anybody would mess with a Scorpio. Like, why would you do that? You do realize they have venom in that stinger, right? That's what I want to say to people when they mess with the Scorpio. Like, don't do it. You guys can be the most loving people in the entire world, but just, it's like Bethany Frankel on Real Housewives, right? She's a Scorpio, and she's like so funny and so loving and so sarcastic, and you know, but you cross her the wrong way and that stinger comes out and bam, and she does not apologize for it either, for being that person, which is like perfectly fine, you know, like don't apologize for it. It's like right there on the edge of my nose. All right, guys. I feel like February is a month of movement, and I want you to start getting things going in February, because when we have Mercury is moving into Pisces, which will slow Mercury down anyways, just in the thought process, but also it'll be in its shadow period towards the end of February, and then we go into retrograde in March. So you really, and like March 5th is retrograde for Mercury in Pisces, and that lasts for 3 weeks. So now is the time for you, like, if you have a way that you want to go, and if you have a direction you need to move in, if you actually have to move locations, or, you know, do what, like, I feel like now is the time to do it. February is, you know, we've been telling you to be patient and to wait for a long time. Like, and I say we as in like the readers, healers, whatever. Like, we've been saying, nope, the energy's too stagnant. Make your plans. You can like start getting things rolling, but don't make any quick movements yet, right? Now's the time. The Fool is saying now is the time. And you're the one that has all of the control over how it happens. Like, you get to turn the wheel. That doesn't happen very often. We don't often get that kind of joy in life, to turn our own wheel. Sometimes we have to wait for the universe to do it for us. You're being prompted. You brought the balance into your life. And I do feel like part of this has to do with the relationship, and the other part of it really has to do with the purpose of where you're supposed to be going. So don't get super stubborn. I think you could possibly break your own heart. It could be that somebody else is breaking your heart too this month, but I feel like more so with this 4 of Pentacles, it's you doing it. You could possibly like regret actions that you didn't take. I gotta stretch my neck out. I love you guys. Thanks for being patient for your reading. Have a wonderful February. If you want a personal reading with me, check out my website, fearlessintuition.net. Yeah, that's really, I don't have any announcements right now. I'm hoping to start traveling in March and doing events on the West Coast. So, looking forward to doing that. I'll keep everybody updated. I love you guys. Have a great February. Bye.